Hi, I'm Brendan, the Marketing Manager from 3M Purification. We're here today in our warehouse in Blacktown in the western suburbs of Sydney, and I want to talk to you today about a new product for 2016, the 10-inch Sanitary high flow unit. So you can see here that it's made of stainless steel. It's a 316L construction, and it's been electro-polished to 0.4 micron, both externally and internally. Some of the features of the housing is that it's a complete sanitary design. So it is designed primarily for food and beverage applications, and it was designed with applications such as craft beer in mind and other smaller operations. It's a sanitary design, so there are no threads internally that come into contact with the product. It can be sanitized and cleaned out after your normal operation run. I'll just take you through some of the features of the housing. So the connection sizes, you can see down the bottom there's an inlet connection here. It's a 2-inch triclover connection, and the outlet is on the other side as well from underneath the housing. On the top here we have a 1.5-inch gauge assembly which can be fitted with a pressure gauge, and then next to it we have a 1/2-inch, again triclover connection designed for a vent assembly. At the bottom of the housing, again there's the triclover connection for the outlet. There's also a 1/2-inch drain over here for you to reduce the hold-up volume in the housing so you don't lose product as you're going through your operation. The legs themselves, there's 3 legs. Each of them is adjustable. They have a travel distance of 25 millimeters, so depending on the size of your pipe, you can move the housing up and down. The housing, as I mentioned earlier, is designed locally, and it's designed in compliance with Australian standards, so it is compliant to AS 1210. The compliance plate that comes with the housing will show that, and it's rated to 1000 kPa or 90 degrees C. Our 60-inch version has a swing bolt closure arrangement. This particular one in the 10-inch version has what we call a safety latch V-band clamp closure. So you can see here, it's got the clamp closure here. Remove the clamp, you just release some of the tension, push the safety latch in, disconnect the key and lift the clamp off. The lid will then just lift off. We'll lay these on the box here. You shouldn't be laying them on the hard surface. Once you look inside the housing, you'll see it's electro-polished, again to 0.4 micron. It's all welded. Center post is relatively sturdy, a sturdy construction, and you'll be able to see the electro-polishing actually inside the housing. The cartridge that goes into it is the 10-inch cartridge from our high flow range of products. It's an all polypropylene construction. Again, it's compliant with FDA CFR 21, so it's suitable for contact with food and beverage. Single O-ring seal. It's got a 3-inch bore size, which gives you a high flow rate. The media itself is a pleated media supported by a polypropylene scrim. It's an absolute rated media, so it's available in a 1 micron, 2 micron, 5 micron, 10, 15, 25, 40 and 70 micron rating. To put it in, the cartridge is installed with the handle perpendicular to the axis of flow for the inlet. It locks in, you turn it 90 degrees clockwise and it sits in there. The handle is now parallel with the inlet and outlet. Put the lid back on, close the clamp up, you're ready to go. To remove it, again it's the same operation but in reverse. Turn it 90 degrees anti-clockwise, pull it out and dispose of it accordingly. This particular cartridge size will deliver about 250 litres per minute flow rate. The equivalent flow rate for this in a bag housing is a size 2 bag or a 32-inch bag housing. If you had that bag housing sitting here, it would be about the same height off the floor as this one is, but it would be of course a 32-inch product, so it would be much higher. To remove the bag, you would have to lift it well above your shoulder height, which presents issues from an occupational health and safety standpoint within the workplace. So at the same time, this cartridge will deliver a high flow rate, but also remove the need to lift a heavy cartridge above the shoulder height and remove the occupational risks associated with that. We put the cartridge back in. Once the housing lid goes back on again, the dome goes on the top, clamp comes around the top, lock that in, close it up, and then we tighten it up. The housing's ready to go. So in a nutshell, that's our 10-inch sanitary high flow housing. Again, it's designed primarily for the food and beverage market, but it can be used for some industrial applications. If you need more information, please visit our website, or alternatively, give your local 3M salesperson a call, and they'll only be too happy to provide further information. Hi, I'm Brendan, the Marketing Manager from 3M Purification. I'm here today to talk about a new housing for 2016, our Sanitary high flow range of housings. So you can see it here, it's made of 316L stainless steel and it's been electro-polished to 0.4 micron, both externally and internally, and we'll have a closer look at that. The housing itself is a sanitary design, so there are no internal threads that come into contact with your process fluid. It's designed primarily for the food and beverage market, however it can be used in other markets such as pharmaceutical or some industrial markets as well, depending on the chemical being filtered. I'll just take you through the housing and show you some of the points and features that may be beneficial in the workplace. So, as I said, the housing is a sanitary design. It's been designed locally, so it is AS 1210 compliant. In order to be sanitary, it's got to be accessible to be cleaned and sanitised, and so typically you would do that at the front end, but also we've built into this design 4 swing bolts here which can be loosened to remove this back panel to give you access for sanitising and cleaning throughout your process. Okay, so we've got 3-inch triclover connections on the inlet and the outlet. We've got on the top, we've got 1.5-inch triclover connections for the vents, and then on the reverse side of the inlet side, there's a 1/2-inch vent assembly as well. As you can see, the housing is sloped, and there's a drain port down here designed to minimise unwanted product loss from within the process. The housing itself can be moved around relatively easily within the workplace. So down here you've got some attachment points for the forklift, and on the top you've got some lifting lugs attachment for overhead cranes. As I mentioned, the housing is designed to Australian standards, so it is AS 1210 compliant, and it will come with a compliance plate here showing those details, and it is rated and designed to 1000 kPa. Down here at the end where the cartridge goes, again we spoke about the 1.5-inch gauge assembly and the vent port on the back. The housing itself can be accessed through these 4 swing bolts down here. Typically just release like this, and then it pivots back on this point, nearly back on itself. As you can see, the inside has been also polished to 0.4 micron. The cartridge itself is our high flow cartridge. This is the 60-inch version. It also comes in a 40-inch and a 10-inch version. It's an all polypropylene construction. It is FDA compliant, CFR 21, so it's suitable for use in contact with food and beverage applications. It's got a polypropylene scrim material, and the media itself is also polypropylene. It's an absolute rated cartridge. It's a pleated membrane cartridge, and it's available in a range of micron sizes. It comes in 1 micron, 2 micron, 5 micron, 10 micron, 15, 40, 70 and 25 micron. It's got a 3-inch bore size here, and because of the larger bore size here, the cartridge is capable of delivering over 1500 litres per minute flow rate. To install this into the housing, it's a horizontal configuration. Slips in over the centre post. You'll feel it engage on the bayonet lock. It's a 90-degree turn clockwise. Sits in there, just give it a shake to make sure it's okay. It's engaged, and then you would close the housing up and bring the fluid through. To remove the cartridge, it's the same operation but done in reverse. You would release the pressure, undo the swing bolts, pivot the lid back. The cartridge then is taken. It's a 90-degree turn anti-clockwise. This one will be a bit stiff because it's dry, but you pull the cartridge out. Now the cartridge will slide out of the housing on the centre post, and it's taking the weight. I can leave it balanced there. This cartridge would obviously be heavier when it's wet, but what would happen is you would pull that out. Once it comes off the centre post, the end will drop. If you have a trolley there or a tray, you can drop the cartridge into the tray, wheel the tray aside, and take it away for disposal. The new cartridge, of course, would be installed very quickly, so you would just again drop it in over the top of the centre post here, slide it into a horizontal orientation. You would turn it 90 degrees, lock it, close the lid, do it up, and you're ready to go. On a traditional housing, which would normally be a 40-inch cartridge, it's installed in a vertical fashion. And to the removal of the cartridges, if it's installed on the floor, you would need to lift the cartridge above your shoulder height to remove it. You would do that approximately 12 times or 22 times, depending on the size of the housing, and the cartridges, of course, would be wet. By having it in a horizontal configuration, it prevents this continual lifting and potential opportunity for occ health and safety issues as you do lift the heavy cartridge over the height of your shoulder. The other advantage, of course, is that there's a lot less stock holding, and it goes on relatively straightforward, and you can see that the change out for one cartridge is around 2 minutes. That is our Sanitary high flow range of products. As I said, it's a new product for 2016. You'll be able to see this around at a lot of trade shows through the year and some advertisements in trade literature. If you do require more information though, please visit our website. Alternatively, give your local 3M sales rep a call and they will give you more information.